like to throw on the tinfoil hat too much and put on the
Yeah.
talk about conspiracies. We like only to discuss truth. But I will say this: I know there's a lot of rumblings in the newsrooms, and you've seen it on social media, that Justin Bieber had something to do with this, that Diddy had something on Bieber.
Welcome to the Hollywood Raw YouTube page, guys. We're happy to have you here. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave us comments, do all the stuff.
What are you waiting for? Let's go. I got a drug addiction to feed.
Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. I'm Dax Holt. Over there is Adam. Glyn. Feels like a new day, new Diddy story every 4 seconds. So we'll get into a little Diddy, get you guys updated. But what we really want to talk about today is some of the craziest parties we've ever heard of in Hollywood. Because I don't know, Adam and I were talking about this. We were texting each other saying how this Diddy story has gotten so big, and we've been talking about parties. And then we started to kind of reminisce about some of the parties that we've covered over the years and just the amount of money that was spent on them, some of the weird stuff that celebrities, would give as take-home gifts to their celebrity friends. So we're going to get into that. Adam, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm good. The leaves are changing. It's getting cooler in New York City, but I'm good ultimately, Dax. I tried watching that Hawaii lifeguard show, by the way, last night. It's on Fox. I think it's called like Rescue Hawaii. I don't know if you watched it. It's terrible. I wanted to like it because I loved Baywatch and I love Hawaii. I love the ocean. I love anything beach. And I wanted to love the show. And it's terribly done. It's the editing of the first episode. I'm just like, the angles, it keeps cutting. I'm like, I'm over it.
Why didn't you watch the show I told you to watch?
Because it's getting cold out, dude, and I miss the beach. I don't want to watch a show that's going to bring me back to the
wants
beach.
I told you, that is the show everyone is watching right now. It is a fantastic show. I think that it might actually bring Adam Brody back as like the next big star. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He is having such a resurgence with this show. Obviously he was huge on
OC.
Back in the day, OC. But this show has put him back in the forefront, and people are now talking about, is he going to be the next big, like, kind of rom-com star because of this show? That'd be huge for him.
It'd be great. He's become very likable. He's very likable in the show. He was likable in the OC. It's just a matter of like, it's crazy. I don't want to say he didn't work much, but I would say, because
what did he do in between? What has he done between the OC and this show? I'm not even trying to be like a dick. I just honestly have no idea.
But it's unique that it's like coming. He did some movies. He did some shows. He did a movie called Jennifer's Body and Ready or Not. Gilmore Girls, I guess, was before the OC.
He was in that Megan Fox movie, Jennifer's Body.
He was in River Wild in 2023. So he's done roles. Okay. But I think this role essentially is making him very likable again, and they're showing what charisma is, because the character that he's playing on the show, from what it seems like to me, I haven't watched the show, it's just an extension of who he is in real life. So yeah, he's a great
super likable in this show. I think Kristen Bell did a phenomenal job. Her acting is great. All of them come across really likable and fun. And again, if you haven't watched the show, go check it out on Netflix. It's the #1 streaming show right now. Everyone's really getting into it. At least a lot of people like my age, your age, Adam, like all the moms, all the dads that I'm seeing at like the soccer games and stuff. Everyone's talking about this show. And then we got a lot of comments on our private Facebook group, Off the Record, people saying, thank you for the recommendation. They're really enjoying it. So Adam, you're the last one to the party. Go check it out, bud.
I will. I promise you, I will watch it. We're gonna get into Diddy. It's crazy the amount of publicists, some celebrities, not big celebrities, who've reached out to me, who's looking for information on Diddy. They just want to know. Some people want to know if their clients have anything to do with it, or they should be on the lookout for stories coming out regarding their clients. Some celebrities just want to know because they love the gossip of who could possibly be in these videos or what else is out there. Dax, you and I both always say we don't like to throw on the tinfoil hat too much and put on the talk about conspiracies. We like only to discuss truth. But I will say this: I know there's a lot of rumblings in the newsrooms, and you've seen it on social media, that Justin Bieber had something to do with this, that Diddy had something on Bieber. It's not like I don't hear anything from what I've heard that Bieber had was really partaking in the parties too much, like craziness.
He was
But
pretty young at that
there
time,
was but Bieber and Diddy had something going on. We'll wait to see how those stories kind of play out.
It does make me wonder, because you remember Justin Bieber has dealt with a lot of mental health issues, like very public, vocal mental health issues, but we don't really know what the issues are per se. I mean, I think there's a lot of a challenge just being a very young star in the spotlight, trying to grow up, going through puberty in front of the world. Like, all of that is pretty tough. But now, if there was some really negative influences by P. Diddy, you start to go, oh shit, like, what else did this kid go through when he should have just been enjoying being a kid? You know what I'm saying? And now I kind of look at Justin a little different. Like, if he had a really rough time because people were, had bad influence over him, and I just really wonder what he truly, truly went through.
Yeah, for sure. By the way,
I was going to say, you know what really resonates now is you had mentioned months ago, before this thing got really, really bad, how his publicist dropped him. So if for people that haven't listened to the show or didn't listen a while back, months ago, Adam basically said Diddy's publicists, his managers have dropped him. This is going to be a big deal. Can you take us back? When did you hear that information?
This was right after the people raided the house. And in fact, his house is. In fact, I had a source who had some video of inside the house who was looking to sell the video, but then they backed out last minute because they thought the video could come back to them. And they said to me, dude, there's so much stuff on this guy Diddy. It's not looking good. And again, we only know we had Fred from Media Takeout talk about these videos, and he said, he pretty much laid out all the legal facts regarding this case. Diddy's camp is trying to say that the feds sort of leaked the video of him hitting Cassie to CNN. Why the feds would do that, I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe them to build momentum on the case, to have kind of the public on their side a little bit, because they didn't want this to become into maybe a celebrity battle, a race battle. Who knows? But yeah, we're going to get into kind of a little bit more into what the involvement or this recent allegations regarding the Diddy story.
Yeah, there's a couple new lawsuits that dropped, like just the other day, or today, yesterday. It's like, I'm telling you, every day feels like it's a whole new news cycle when it comes to Diddy. Okay, we'll get into that in a sec.
Wait, Dex, I didn't tell you. I played golf with a celebrity recently.
Who?
I can't tell you the name. I don't want to tell you the name.
Oh, don't do this to me, Adam. Don't pull this crap on me.
This is what I'll say. I don't want to say the name because I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't want to embarrass myself because they're on social media. I would say
A-list
a solid
star or what?
Not A-list, but nominated for an Academy Award.
Oh, shit.
I would say solid working actor. I'd say B-list actor. Like, this is they're not like, they're a celebrity, obviously, because they're an actor, but they don't go in like the celebrity world. Like, they don't play that game. They're like, this person's a hardcore
Why can't you tell me who it is?
Because I'm trying to hang out with this person again. I don't want to do Kathy Griffin and blow it and ruin my whole chance of hanging out with him again. We hit it off. I'm not going to, but I'll tell you what, here's the thing.
It's a guy?
It's a guy.
Okay.
I don't want to, I was so embarrassed because I'm playing golf with them, and it was just not me and them. It was two other people. He's a friend of a friend, and we wound up playing together. And are you a golfer, Dex?
No.
No.
I mean, I'd love to be, just so the social aspect, but I think I'm to the point where I haven't really learned. So now I feel like I'm going to be the idiot on the golf course. So I'm kind of embarrassed.
Well, that's exactly what I was. I was so embarrassed playing with this person because I played so bad. He probably didn't even care about it. I was so nervous because I wanted to play well in front of them. So he'd be like, oh, he's a good guy to play with. He doesn't slow me down. But I looked like a 4-year-old swinging a club. I just could not hit the ball well. I was so nervous playing with this guy. And he played well. And I just embarrassed myself. The whole entire time, I had to keep telling him, like, I don't usually play this bad. I don't usually play this bad. When we had a golf caddy, I had to tell the golf caddy, like, do me a favor. They do this thing called forecading where the golf caddy goes out like 150, 200 yards out so they know where your ball went. I gave the golf caddy 3 extra balls to throw, like, I'm not even joking, to throw like in the grass in a decent position just so we could keep the game moving along and so I didn't look as bad. It was so embarrassing.
Wait, so, okay. Can you give me some more hints? Like, what year did this person get nominated for an Oscar?
Actually, this person got nominated 30. They're actually a young person, but this person got nominated, I'd say, like 25 years ago, maybe. Yeah. But yet again, that because they were a child-ish at the time, they were a very young kid. But then they've been working.
I gotta have so many questions. I need to figure out who this is.
I know, I did. I'm not going to tell you the name. That's a male actor, a very working actor. They're not part of like the Tara Reid era where they partied a lot. This person doesn't party a lot. They're a working actor. Super cool dude, had great stories on the course. But I'm like, I potentially might play with him again, but like I've been trying to like get better so I don't embarrass myself again. I wanted him to feel like it was a one-off time. Anyway, all right, Dax, I just wanted to tell you that.
Mine's just going. I'm like, the only person that's like I can think of young is like Dakota Fanning. Okay, whatever. But
somewhat, you know what? Here's the thing: Dakota Fanning, somewhat in that age group and era type thing, if that makes sense. You're never going to guess it. If someone actually guesses it in the Facebook chat, I'll be very surprised. And I'll probably Facebook go off the record. But again, I'm not going to just sit there and name the names because I don't want to pull a Kathy Griffin. I'm trying to like make some money in this industry and hang with them again. I don't think they want me outing them yet. Not like they did anything bad. They were super cool. We had drinks together. We had a lot of drinks together. It was a fun time.
Next time, will you be like, do you mind if I just talk all about this on my podcast?
You know what? I'd be like, next time, do you mind coming? I don't think I even told him I have a podcast. That's how scared I was. And I was so embarrassed how I played golf. All right, Dax, before we get moving along in the podcast, reread reviews, do you have a review ready for us?
Oh, I got one for us. All right, this one comes from Kristen Wilcox. She gave us a 5-star review. She said, the best podcast. I've been listening to Dax and Adam for a little over a year now. These two are amazing, and their witty banter keeps you hooked. Wishing you all the best. I hope that all the work that is put into this podcast comes back tenfold. Thank you for providing, I can't read. Thank you for providing our listeners with hours of entertainment, stories, and laughs. Fuck yes, Kristen.
Very nice.
That's right. That is
Kristen, you rule.
I rename the good ones in here. And I just say like, great review. I don't know. Maybe I'll like post them one day or something. I don't know. I just renamed that one. It was a good one. All right. Let's move forward. All right. Let's get into
before we move forward, by the way, I was at this fitness event recently and I hung out with, I shouldn't say hung out with, I take that back. I didn't hang out with, I talked to, no, fuck it, dude. I don't mind saying this. There were some of the Bachelor people at this fitness event. Tyler Cameron, is that his name? Was that the guy's name again? Tyler Cameron was there. Pilot Pete and Zach Clark. Zach Clark was the one who got engaged to Tayshia Adams on the Bachelorette. They're no longer together. I didn't talk to who was the first one in? The one that was with Chris Cavallari. Tyler. I didn't talk to Tyler Cameron.
Oh, Tyler Cameron. That was.
I didn't talk to Tyler Cameron, who's hanging there. Honestly, usually at these events, I try to talk to people and engage with them. I had nothing to talk to Tyler Cameron about. Like, imagine there's like some guy there, like, oh, he'd be great for the podcast. Dax, I couldn't think of anything to talk to this guy about. Like, it was just like, oh, there's
Which is
Tyler
weird
Cameron.
Because I feel like you're someone who is genuinely good at small talk. I know myself. I hate small talk. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like being in a room full of people that like I've never met before and like, hey, so where did you go to high school? Like, I don't know what to talk to people about. I hake small talk. You are very good at it. So that is surprising for me to hear right now.
I just had nothing to talk to this guy about. Like, I was trying to think of things in my head, with a routine ammo in my head to go up to him and have a conversation, have these bullet points so we could keep the conversation going. I couldn't think of anything. In fact, I think for a little bit we had the same manager, and the manager did nothing for me, and I think did some things for him. But I was like, what? I don't even need to talk to him about the manager. I have nothing to talk to him. I did talk to Pilot Pete. Pilot Pete from The Bachelor, nice guy, very nice guy. I have to say, very grounded, very cool, very nice,
demure.
very demure. No, he's a very nice guy. He's very likable, tall. He's actually all these guys are tall for the most part, except Zach Clark. So I go up to Zach Clark. I talked to him 3 years ago. I'm at Newark Airport, and I get Keegan. Who did I get? I got Keegan Michael Key, and I got Zach Clark and Tayshia Adams.
Okay.
And during that year, you asked me who was the worst celebrity you ran into that year.
Oh,
And
I
I
remember
said
this.
it was Tayshia Adams and Zach Clark, and they were total assholes to me. And even Keegan Michael Key, who's super nice, saw that. He was like, "Look at these people." I was like, "Dude, here I am for you. You're about to host Saturday Night Live. Like, you're the biggest star of the week right now, and here I am, like, trying to talk to these people, and they were total dicks to me." And I went up to him. I was like, "Dude, you don't know who I am," but I kind of brought up the story, and he tried to he was very nice, but he tried to like put it on like, "Hey, it wasn't just me; it was the person I was with." And I was like, whatever. He was very nice to me then. I tried to kind of like piece it up, and like I wasn't gonna hide around it. I was like, "Dude, you were a dick to me," and he kind of put it on her. And I don't think I don't think that him and Tayshia.
I love that you're like, "Hey, great to see you again. Just want to let you know what an asshole you were last time we met."
Dude, like, listen, he's no longer like a big celebrity. The playing field has evened, and I have no problem like calling you out. Like, "Hey, man, you're like your reps let me know that you were at the airport," and then I go to the airport. You guys were total dicks to me.
Oh, that's right. It was a setup. It was like, well, I guess setup, but essentially, like, you knew they were supposed to know that you were going to be there too, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why I was I'm at the airport. That's why I'm there. And again, he was very nice to me that day, and he was cool. Honestly, like he was very pleasant. I enjoyed our conversation, but it was just fun to have that conversation. Like, dude, you don't remember this, or maybe you do, because I don't know how many people run up to you at Newark Airport with a camera, but I did, and you came off right from LA, and you were a total asshole to me. And then I remember I mentioned that on our podcast, and it got really big. It got a lot of attention. I went on some Bachelor podcasts and talked about my experience with them, and then that got a lot of attention. So, Tayshia Adams, fuck her. I mean, listen, that girl was an asshole to me. Like, I run into her. I'll tell her to her face. But anyway, let's move along.
Let's move on. We gotta update everyone on what's going on with Diddy right now, just because some news stories broke this week. So we're not leaving this one for just the rundown on Friday. We need to enter it today. But a bunch new lawsuits were filed this week. 6 separate lawsuits were filed by that attorney, Tony Busby. He was that Texas attorney that is apparently representing 120 alleged Diddy victims. Well, 6 of those lawsuits were filed this week, and 4 of them are featuring male accusers. So we're going to kind of run through what exactly each lawsuit says. In one of the lawsuit, and TMZ was ones to really break this story. But in the first lawsuit, a man says he was working for Echo Clothing, and this was back in 2008, and that he knew Diddy through work. And I guess as Diddy was developing and marketing Sean John, which is obviously a competing brand, he also said he ran into Diddy and Diddy's 3 bodyguards at a stockroom in Macy's at their flagship store in New York. And this was back in 2008. And he claims that someone pistol whipped him in the back of the neck and caused him to fall onto his hands and knees. He then claims in this lawsuit that Diddy approached him and said, "Suck my dick, Echo," and brutally orally raped him. And then in another lawsuit, a man claims that he was hired to work for security for Diddy's 2006 white party, where he believes he consumed a drink laced with GHB, I would say GBH and or ecstasy. He says that Diddy forced him into a van, overpowered him, and sexually assaulted him. The man claims Diddy inserted his penis into the man's anus and sodomized him, and he also alleges that the rape resulted in some bodily fluids leaking out of his body. The third lawsuit from a male towards Diddy says that Diddy he sued Diddy, claiming that he went to a Diddy party in 2021, October 2021, where he became disoriented, consuming 1 drink. So it's kind of interesting. We got now 2 people saying that they drank something, and next thing you know, they didn't like what was happening. But he says that the room started spinning, and the next thing he remembers is being in a bedroom paralyzed. He says at least 3 men sexually assaulted him through sodomy and other forced acts, and claims that he distinctly recalls seeing a naked Diddy above him at one point during the alleged assault. The fourth lawsuit from a male, it says that he was only, get this, 16 years old when he was invited to Diddy's 1998 white party in the Hamptons, where he says they snapped a photo together, and the photo is a part of the lawsuit. So you can see Diddy and him standing there. It looks kind of like a carnival theme, and Diddy's wearing a white hat, and then this guy's face is blocked out. But he says that Diddy took an interest in him and took him to a more private area to chat, where Diddy told him that he had the right look for the music industry and could be made into a star with Diddy's help. He then claims that Diddy abruptly told him to drop his pants and expose his genitals for inspection, which Diddy says he was kind of like a rite of passage. And he says, "Don't you want to break into the business?" He says he succumbed to like the pressure, dropped his pants, exposing his genitals, and claims Diddy cupped and held onto his genitals, squeezing and feeling them. So these are just 4 of the lawsuits that were filed this week, out of the 6. And then, like we said, this Texas lawyer is saying that there's 120 that are still going to be dropping. Some will be filing lawsuits against other celebrities that Diddy has relationships with. But we're going to see these slowly coming out. Just, what's really interesting to me is there's a lot of celebs that get wrapped up into like the gay rumors. I don't remember Diddy being one of those people, but did I miss that? Because it seems like there's a lot of stuff, and even his lawyers have acknowledged that Diddy slept with men, women, everyone. But I don't remember getting a lot of those stories leaked out into the public, like gay rumors with him.
No, not at all.
Or anything.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, if you Google, John Travolta, Tom Cruise, the word gay comes up. There's
Lots of stuff comes up. Yeah. And a lot of that, I think, is just, I think a lot of it's rumors, speculation, whatever the case. But their names constantly get associated with that. Diddy's, I don't remember that happening.
But it's funny. I talked to Fat Jewish, which, he said he's supposed to come on the podcast, and then he's been like MIA. He's like, dude, are you going to come on the podcast or what? But he had a wild story about seeing Diddy at a party. And I was like, interesting. He said it before all this stuff went down. And the other unique part is this. Go back to what you're saying. I just never heard these speculations that Diddy was gay. However, maybe, and I'm just saying maybe, at these parties, everyone was so on drugs that they might have saw it and it might have been an illusion to them. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, it's like there's so much going on. You're not all there. You're not in the right state.
Yeah, but
you might think you saw it, but do you know if you actually saw something or something did happen?
But we're talking like decades of the white party. Like, this one lawsuit is saying in 1998,
yes,
that Diddy pulled this guy aside and fondled his genitals. You're telling me that no one had any inclination, or were they just too afraid to say something? But again, I get it if you don't have celebs saying like, oh shit, I just saw Diddy fondling some dude over there. I get that. But you tell me no one leaked anything to the press all these years? And maybe they did, and I just didn't see the stories or whatever. I just think if you've got fondling genitals going on at parties, someone would have said something.
But is it something in that scene where gay homosexuality is so like not spoke about, where it could really,
or it's the opposite, that it's like, oh, it's drugs, it's partying, it's sex, it's everyone's just having a good time, whether it's men, women, anything. And so maybe there's just a sense of freedom too, where everyone's banging each other. So why are they going to point the fingers at Diddy when they themselves are also just hanging out, having an orgy? Maybe that's what it comes down to.
But it's, it makes me think back to like the Playboy Mansion, and, the times were different, how it was accepted. The orgies at the Playboy Mansion were almost accepted, almost dreamed on. People like wanted to go to these parties. They wanted to like see what it was like. And let's be honest, during that time when Diddy was throwing these parties, we all sort of wanted to be there. You know, we were at home saying, man, it must be so cool to go to that party. However, we did not really know what was going on at those parties.
Yeah, I don't think it was
publicized.
I would love to have, gone to these big celeb parties back in the day, looking at them, because all you see are celebs there, and you're like, holy shit, like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Ashton Kutcher. Like, you just see all these people in the same room at the same time. That to me was like the exciting part, not knowing what was truly going on, and granted, I say that, but I don't know what was happening at the time, even with the people I've named right there, because it could be a normal party for some people. Their experience is a normal party, and then for the other people, it's a completely different situation. I've been at parties like that where someone's doing drugs upstairs and the rest of the people are just dancing on the dance floor downstairs. You could be two very different experiences for people. So
sure.
I don't know. It got us talking earlier in this week, and I don't remember what it was, but I think we just started like texting each other about some of the other infamous parties that we have covered over the years and some of the fun stuff that we've heard. And I remember, I think it was Miley Cyrus's 21st birthday that kind of spawned us into this whole thing. Because remember, Miley turning 21 was a huge deal. And her birthday party, I remember being one of the biggest stories, because it was finally like Miley was already drinking. She was already doing stuff. She was, she was a not so silent partier prior to being legal. She was already kind of out and open drinking. So this one was like the official thing. And I remember she had a bunch of celebs there, like Emma Roberts and Kesha, but it was all the stories about the blow up sex dolls, strippers, like that was all. And I think there was like Lorex from Dr. Seuss was at her birthday party. Like, it was the weirdest birthday party.
Cool. Yeah.
And then what really stood out in my mind was, do you remember her birthday cake? Her birthday cake was literally like a picture of her naked, like it kind of like sculpted like a Greek nude of her with marijuana leaves strategically placed on her cake, on her body. That was the cake. So I was just like, now that's a party.
Yeah.
Miley knows how to put on a party. And I don't know, for some reason that one sticks out in my mind. Do you have one that sticks out in your mind?
I mean, when money is not an object, when it is not an issue, you could throw parties like this. It's just, it's and then also you're not even paying for everything. I'm sure brands are quietly donating stuff there. Let's just say you have a weed company. They'll supply the whole party with their weed. If they could take a photo and say, hey, we were at Miley Cyrus's party. I would, personally, Dex, I was at a Super Bowl party. To me, that was just so infamous. And again, it was cool, and I'm sure there's been other cooler parties, but when I went to the Michael Rubin Super Bowl party in Miami a couple years back, this is before the party kind of got very commercial, even though it's still a very hard party to get into. The door wasn't as strict. However, they had this beach. They made a club on the beach, and they had the Migos perform, Post Malone performed, and it might have been like, I don't know, I would say roughly 400 people at this party, but it was like intimate. Like wherever you turned, like I looked to my right, there's Aaron Judge. I looked to my left, there's Jay-Z at the like everyone was everything. But the coolest part is at the party, this was right after Kobe Bryant passed away. They gave everyone at the party Kobe Bryant jerseys. So everyone was wearing a Kobe Bryant jersey, kind of moving to like Migos and Post Malone. And I have a great photo of me and Mark Cuban both like taking a photo wearing Kobe Bryant jerseys. So it was like a costume party. Like, I don't know. It was just so cool. And here's the crazy thing is when you go to these parties, they had like Nobu or some high-end restaurant catering the party. Nobody eats. Nobody eats. So I'm the only loser just binging, putting food in a brown bag, have food on my face because I will never have that experience to try that food ever. So I'm like really going nuts on that sushi. And I don't even know if it's good sushi or it's been out for 3 hours. And everyone else is like, I'm not eating the sushi. But I got like food drunk. But also there's like champagne, everything. So to me, that was an insane party. But you were at the Playboy Mansion party. So do you think those Playboy Mansion parties lived up to the hype?
Well, when I went, I didn't go to like the Midsummer's Night Dream party. Like that was the big party of the year, the Halloween party that everyone would talk about, the one that, you know, people are showing up in lingerie, it's getting dirty after dark. Like that was the big one. I didn't go to that. I went to it was kind of a weak party. I mean, it still had a lot of big celebs like Snoop Dogg and Paris and all of that, but it wasn't one of their bigger parties. So I didn't get to see the grotto going off. I didn't get to see that. I just saw a bunch of like hot chicks dancing on the dance floor and stuff. So I unfortunately didn't get to be privy to that back in the day.
You told me that Adele threw a great party.
Oh my God, this party was wild. And it was very controversial at the time. So if you remember, Adele threw this very infamous birthday party for her 30th where it was Titanic-themed. And
interesting theme.
She is obsessed with Titanic. And so she threw this massive birthday party, like recreated the like staircase that was inside, like where the clock stands inside the Titanic, where you like see Rose standing at the top of the stairs and waiting for Jack, like that whole thing. She did a Titanic themed birthday party, but literally everyone came in costume. She was dressed up like Rose. But they gave out life vests as like party favors. like the old school like white ones that have the ties on the side. And everyone showed up. I remember seeing Aaron Paul and his wife. They were dressed up like they were 1900s style. A lot of big people. Mark Ronson. So this is why it got so criticized, because Mark Ronson showed up and he put like frost into his hair. His eyebrows looked like they had bits of water that were frozen into his eyebrows and his eyelashes. People were dressed up like captains, like frozen people. So it got a lot of criticism because everyone's like, this is really kind of gross that you did a birthday party theme where so many people died. Even though you're obsessed with a movie, at the end of the day, this is a huge tragedy that so many people died on this ship when it went down, and you're like making it into a birthday party, and people are almost mocking all the people that wound up in the water with, and froze to death. So that one I remember really going down into the history books as people love Adele, but that one kind of put a little tainted filter on her because people did not like that it was such a tragedy that she was kind of celebrating.
It makes sense.
Would you have any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I get it. It's especially Travis Barker's son, Landon, I think it is, just at a party where they kind of made a spoof about baby oil, and people are saying that's a really low, like, don't make jokes about baby oil right now. It's like, but yes, I understand she could be obsessed with the Titanic, handing everyone life jackets. It sounds, I don't know if that's the best. Everyone's walking around with a life jacket. It's like, that doesn't seem the most comfortable thing at a party.
Right.
But again, people do love a theme. And again, some people...
Don't get me wrong. I love a themed birthday party. And I'm not going to lie. I would have totally shown up and like done the whole thing 100%. But I do get it. Like looking at it from an outsider's perspective, you're like, that's kind of a dick move, Adele. But
yeah, it's a little dark.
I would have been there 100% for sure.
But what if he made that a Halloween theme?
Halloween theme is different. I think...
No, not Halloween theme. If he did the party around Halloween, it's a Titanic Halloween party. Because then all of a sudden, Dax, you go around as like a frozen captain. Like, oh, I'm a ghost.
But people expect that. I think if you were to do it for Halloween, people would kind of accept it. Oh, my hat's all jackass sideways. What is going on? I can't get my hat straight.
Yeah.
No, I think people would accept it because Halloween, you expect gore, you expect death, you expect that. For birthdays, you don't think about that. You're celebrating life.
Yeah, Dex, by the way, I just wanted, I wrote a note down because I wanted to actually just bring this up and something it's my own hypothesis regarding the Diddy situation. Just going back to Diddy real quick. I just want to make sure I put this out here. And I just thought maybe you get a kick out of this, or maybe thought this was interesting. Diddy in the last 5-7 years somehow has become irrelevant. Would you say that? You know, he threw these
Irrelevant?
massive parties, irrelevant.
And I mean, I guess I don't think he was fully ever irrelevant. He just wasn't in the spotlight like he used to be.
But he wasn't in the spotlight because he wasn't throwing these parties, but the people even he was hanging out with, he wasn't really rubbing shoulders with a lot of the big names as he once did. Even when you saw him now, the people he's rubbing shoulders, like, who are these people
So
around
you
you?
think all those people started to distance themselves, the
I
big
do
ones?
think. I think that people realized the times that we're in today, and they said, "Listen, you can't be hanging out with Diddy. You can't be seen with him. The times are different. It's not a healthy person. It's not a good look for you to be around that person." I think
He's going
some
to
people,
handle your balls. He's going to fondle your balls. Stay away.
yeah, I think some people saw the writing on the wall. Like, this guy eventually is going to be taken down, and they might even heard that. Like, hey, there's some people looking into what Diddy's done over the years. Don't be seen with him, and there's no way that even with that big white party that was in the last recent years in the Hamptons, which used to be a famous Diddy party, that he didn't reach out and want to be a part of that party because he was the one who sort of made that party infamous. Someone else took it on and made it their own and became even bigger. And it wasn't the same sort of party, but it was a big celebrity party. So I do think celebrities on the last 10 years, maybe a little bit less, started to distance themselves from him because they said it's not good for business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
back
gonna
to
be surprised.
random. Yeah,
All right. Well,
that's my hot
back
take.
to our regularly scheduled program here. No, so the other birthday party that I wish I could have been Paris Hilton's friend when she turned 21.
Dude, I wish I'd just become Paris Hilton's friend during that era for like that 10 years that she was going out, because to be a fly in the wall in that room, to hear the
Yeah.
stories she had, because she probably had dirt on everyone because she just hung out with a crowd that people that probably spoke. It must have been so fun.
Dude, you should go get that Derek Whibley book, that new one that I talked
Oh,
about
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
Raw Rundown last week, because he dated her. I mean, very briefly, but he dated her during her like crazy heyday time when she was being crazy Paris, and he's writing all about it. Like, he did not hold back from any of the stories about her and her alleged drug use and all that kind of stuff. And it's the exact stories that you would expect, and I think you should check that out. But when she turned 21, she took a bunch of her friends. She paid $75,000 per person and flew them around the world for her 21st birthday. And they went from Los Angeles to Vegas to Tokyo, then to London, all to just celebrate her birthday. And I'm thinking, God damn, that would have been so cool to be Paris's friend. And she's just like, I want to celebrate, because I have friends that are like, hey, let's celebrate my birthday. Let's go to wherever, Miami. And I'm like, well, I don't want to drop thousands of dollars to celebrate your birthday in Miami, but like, okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you have the friend that wants to drop all the cash to take you with them to celebrate, now I'm in.
Well, dude, I follow what's her name? Alex Earl on social media. And if you're friends with her, it seems like it's a really awesome thing. And this is kudos to Alex Earl. If you don't know who Alex Earl, she's probably one of the biggest influencers out there right now. In fact, I feel like she took over the D'Amelios. We don't hear much about the D'Amelios anymore.
Mhm.
But Alex Earl has all these brands like, hey, we'll fly you and your friends out, private jet to this island. Just go have fun and document it and just say thank you, Zico coconut water at the end. And she does that. So if you could Paris was doing that, and yeah, Paris seems like she was a great friend. And I honestly, like, I'm a big Paris Hilton fan. Always have, always will. She treats people very nice. But during that era, like you said, she must have been a good time.
She was probably so fun. I have one other thing that it wasn't a party, because we always know that like Kim and Kanye, they threw some pretty ridiculous parties at their house. Like Halloween is Kim's time of the year. She likes to completely redecorate her entire mansion. I'm assuming she drops just hundreds of thousands of dollars to make it a theme. So that's not surprising. And we've seen all their Christmas parties, all of that. Like, they go over the top. Again, I think it's kind of like what Adam says. You get certain sponsors to show up to the party. You can get a lot of free stuff when you're a massive celebrity, and you can get press. But there was one birthday where Kanye was about to drop $1 million on a birthday cake. And this was a cake that was like complete with
incredible.
real diamonds embedded into the frosting. Like, why would you ever do that? Um, and she actually put her foot down and was like, no, I don't want $1 million birthday cake, because she probably also knows how that looks to a lot of people. And I don't get me wrong, the Kardashians are known for being over the top, ostentatious, ridiculous. So it was always interesting for me to hear that, oh shit, like she actually has a line, and that is consuming $1 million is not in her budget.
Yeah, you know what's so funny, Dax? I didn't tell you this. So I had a drink with this guy the other night, and he sells these $100,000 beds, and he sells $100,000 bed. Actually, they said Drake has like $1 million bed. It's made with like
what can make it $100,000 bed? Like, what could you possibly put in there that I'm like, oh, this is worth $100,000?
You're right. I don't get it, but they said it's like $100,000 bed to like $1 million bed. They said the average bed goes for about $75,000. It's made with horsehair, all organic, and they have someone come yearly. Like 2 guys come over and
horsehair,
massage the bed.
You're laying on horsehair?
Yeah, I don't know, but they have, and this is true. They have 2 people that come annually, and they massage the bed to bring it back to its form. It's supposed to last for a really long time, and they think that you're going to spend half your life on your bed. You got to make sure to really invest in your bed. And the guy, I had drinks with the guy, and he wants me to kind of like bring in people that could bring in sales. Like they don't have an issue getting celebrities' hands, but I think they want to be more strategic in getting into the right people's hands. So I might help them out potentially. But I said, listen, I'll bring you 2 people, and I'll get you help you out a little bit in exchange for a bed. And I was like, give me a $25,000 bed. I don't need the $75,000. Give me a $25,000 twin size mattress, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, give me the one with pony hair. I don't need horsehair, just pony hair, and like just get me the bed.
Yeah,
I get it.
By the way, are you on a queen?
No, we've got a Cal King.
Oh, monster! That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, but like,
So,
I'm
you know why though?
Helping this guy with $75,000 beds. I'm like, dude, come on.
Because I'm also someone that at night I want my space. So
I get it.
We need a big bed because I'm like, honey, you go to your side, I go to my side. That's just how we are. And so we were in Europe. What was it, like a couple months back? And the beds are tiny. Like it's a full size or like a twin, and we're like having to like touch our shoulders all night. I'm like, get away! I'm too hot. I'm roasting.
I get it.
So, but anyway, no, I understand why people would spend the money on beds, because I could never myself spend $100,000 on a bed, but I could see some really rich people out there that sleep is important for people. And if you can spend, $1 million on a car, why not spend $100,000 on a bed? Because you want to get into it. What's funny is we have a couple beds in our house. The one in the guest bedroom is my favorite one, because it feels so much more comfortable, and it gets colder at night. So like, do you have a favorite bed? Is that weird to say?
Dude, I've slept on corners of wooden floors in rooms. I've woken up in some bad places. So for me, I'm just like, whatever works. And it's the funniest part of all this is this guy, based on thought, is like, oh, that I know people that will buy a $75,000, $100,000 bed. I was like, dude, look at me. Do you think I hang out with those type of people? I mean, so now that's what I might be doing on the side, just to get a free mattress. And it'll be funny. Like, I'm just doing this not even for money, just so I get like a really expensive mattress if it goes through. But then I'm gonna have this really expensive thing in my bedroom that nobody's ever going to see. It's like, dude, you want to see my $50,000 bed? People are like, what? I'm good. And everyone's gonna want to lay in my bed. It's like,
okay, Diddy, get out of here. By the way, you know that Diddy has like a 40-foot bed in his backyard, right?
Have
you ever seen that?
No,
dude,
I didn't know this.
So Google Diddy backyard bed, and for people at home, you should also do the same thing too. He's got this massive, humongous bed, a 50-foot. It's a 50-foot bed in his backyard, and it's literally the size of my whole backyard. And it's just white, massive bed, and it's got sheets across it, so you could have the biggest orgy ever, and it's
Yeah,
literally in his backyard. Do you see photos of it?
I do, and that's a little bit gross. It's
weird,
everyone's
right?
It's weird. It's weird. It sounds like cool at first, and then it's cool if you're 12 years old, and then you get older, you're like, that sounds weird.
Well,
I'd rather have grass.
It was probably cool before all the stories started to break, and now that the stories have broken about him and his weird like sex parties, now it's like, oh, it got weird.
Yeah, let's blacklight that bed. You know, let's put the black
can
light.
you
Let's do Room
imagine?
Raiders for that bed. Oh,
He's like,
God.
no Halloween parties in the backyard. Keep all the black lights out of here.
Exactly. All right, Dax, let's wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching on Red Coral Universe, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Leave a comment. It really helps us out in the algorithm. Leave us a review on wherever you listen to our podcast, whether it's on Spotify, give us a good review. Listen to iTunes or the podcast app. Give us a review. We really appreciate that. Follow our private Facebook group called Off the Record. We have to let you guys in, so look up Off the Record on Facebook and answer a few questions. We'll let you into our private group. Follow me at Adam Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at Dax Holt. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
What's up, guys? If you like that video, there's plenty more that came from.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so we can just feed you all the goodness daily.
Hurry up. Come on, let's go.